So much for joining us here on 13 News at noon. Right now, we are taking a live look at the Indiana State House. This is where demonstrators are now gathering for a protest against President Trump's Project 2025. The 50501 movement is planned across all 50 states, all happening on one day, today. Organizers say the movement is in response to President Trump's actions planned during his first 2 weeks in office, including many of his executive orders, pardons of those involved with the January 6th riot, and his immigration policies. We will, of course, be following this protest as it develops throughout the afternoon. Just make sure you stay with 13 News for updates. Well, we want to talk about what's on a lot of people's minds, the forecast. And this is a weather impact Wednesday. Sean, you mentioned it earlier. Monday felt amazing. It felt like spring to me. And then the next day, it's a little chillier. Today, it's a little colder.
Yes.
And you talked about thunderstorms.
Yeah, we don't usually get a chance to say 30s and thunder very often. Tonight, that will be the case. In addition to that, and we addressed this yesterday, there may be just enough cold air and moisture to create a little glaze in some spots. We want you to be aware of that. Let's break it all down for you. So it's a messy mix in some areas, and this may just be just north of Indy, although a fine line, I will tell you, from what will be a cold rain on the surface to what could be freezing rain. We're talking about 5 o'clock to about 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, though we're going to have some stuff happening before then. Mainly elevated surfaces, bridges, overpasses, but untreated sidewalks could certainly get a little slick in areas here. We want you to know this. For the evening rush hour for Indy, we're going to be really close, but we're thinking right now right around 33. But there may be some areas to the north and northeast later tonight where the temperature is going to hover right around 31 or 32, and that will be a big difference. So Richmond, Muncie, Kokomo to Lafayette, there's confidence where the ice may be enough to cause some road issues, and we're talking about a 6 to 7 hour window. That's where that winter weather advisory has been expanded. We're starting to get some returns on radar here. I think the next few hours, fair game for some rain and sleet showers. The coverage of precipitation will expand between now and about 4 o'clock, and then it starts to reach up to the north. Watch those temperatures. Again, that's going to be key. And these will be some thunderstorms. So a lot going on for tonight. We'll dive more into it. I will tell you the commute tomorrow morning is going to be A-OK. But later tonight, we could have some road issues. More coming up in the 7-day forecast.
All right. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah.
New at noon, a plea agreement has been reached in a deadly hit-and-run crash from March of last year. You may remember this story. That crash happened on Mass Avenue in downtown Indianapolis. Military veteran, 27-year-old Brandon Breedlove was killed in that crash. Now, 28-year-old Salvador Banales is pleading guilty to 2 counts of leaving the scene of an accident resulting in serious bodily injury. The plea agreement includes a dismissal of several other charges. Banales' change of plea hearing is set for March 7th. His sentence could be between 12 to 21 years. A judge will decide on that. We will continue to follow the story as it develops. Well, 13 News is learning more about a conflict among the city-county council. Councilor Jesse Brown is now ousted from the Democratic caucus. Now, some community members are making their concerns heard. They're demanding answers for why this happened. Our Logan Gay has the latest on what both councilors and constituents are saying.
The people in this room say they're fed up.
We need to step up as citizens. And that's what we're here to do, is to step up and say no more, we're done.
What was supposed to be a standard council committee meeting ended up being flooded with Jesse Brown supporters, eager to make their voices heard about his expulsion from the council's Democratic caucus.
The constituents are concerned and they want to know, why are we treated in this manner?
As many people as possible squeezed themselves into the meeting, which was held in a small conference room. It lasted only minutes and ended with them making standard changes to some committee assignments and no mention of Brown or the large group of people who came out. Some say it was a waste of time.
They knew what people were here to hear and they denied it. They denied any discussion about it.
According to Brown, the caucus did not give him a reason for its expulsion, but he believes his push for transparency and his call for fully funded public education put him at odds with some counselors who he says may not hold the same belief. Christina Smith's kids go to an IPS innovation school. She says this roller coaster has been rough on students and parents.
What I'm hearing from parents right now is that they don't want to pick a school in IPS because they don't know if it's going to exist.
Smith says regardless of Brown's expulsion from the Democratic caucus, constituents in his district are going to do whatever they can to save IPS.
We're not trusting anybody anymore. If you're not voting how the people need you to vote to save us from big businesses, from people looking to make $1 off our kids' backs, you're going down too.
And that was our Logan Gay reporting. We did reach out to Jesse Brown and the leader of the Democratic caucus for comment. We have not yet heard back. Some upset constituents say they will keep going to these education committee meetings, and they tell us they plan to go through each city councilor's finance reports. We will, of course, be keeping an eye on how this story develops. A man is pleading guilty in connection to a deadly crash in September of 2022. Connor Gaskell was driving after a night of drinking at Bottle Works. His car hit a Lyft ride at 24th and Delaware. 22-year-old Rashid Conte was in the back seat of that rideshare. He died in the crash. His brother, a friend, and a Lyft driver were also seriously hurt.
Detectives were able to retrieve the airbag control module from Gaskell's vehicle and learned the vehicle was traveling at a speed of 55 miles per hour at the time of impact. The speed limit for East 24th Street is 30 miles per hour.
Gaskell will be sentenced later this month. Conte's family released a statement saying the harm caused by Gaskell cannot be measured by any sentence he serves. Now to an update on a deadly shooting last year on Christmas Day. A man is now under arrest facing murder charges. Derek McKenzie III is charged with killing 44-year-old Cedric Cruz. He's also charged for unlawful possession of a firearm by a serious violent felon. The shooting happened at a home near East 46th and Arlington Avenue. McKenzie is expected to make his initial appearance in court tomorrow morning. Another update here at noon on a story that we've been following for 2 years. One of the men accused of bringing machine guns into the Castleton Square Mall is changing his plea. Octavius Reed is now pleading guilty in the case. Reed was 19 when it happened. Now he'll spend 1 year in prison and 3 years home detention. Investigators say he and another young man, Zachary Hunter, had handguns with machine gun conversion devices. Police say they also had high-capacity magazines and ammunition on them inside the mall the day after Christmas 2023. Hunter, who was 18 at the time, is taking a plea deal for possession of a machine gun. He'll be sentenced later this month. Well, Metro Police are working to curb illegal parties in the city of Indianapolis. Just last weekend, IMPD shut down a large party at a banquet hall inside the Washington Square Mall. Officers say there were at least 200 people at that party. They saw several safety concerns, including underage drinking. Police tell us the flyers for the party said, "Bring liquor in water bottles." IMPD says the party didn't have the needed permits, so we talked to police about the work that goes into identifying these kinds of situations and then putting a stop to them.
Well, we want to see our community continue to engage in wonderful acts, celebrations. Unfortunately, sometimes individuals want to partake in illegal activity, and we're not going to stand for that, and we're going to ensure that things remain safe within the city.
That was Officer Tommy Thompson there. He says police want people to have a good time while still obeying the law. Well, this afternoon, at least one Central Indiana school is still closed after a wave of students and staff got sick. Horizon Christian School says they are closed after 20% of students called out sick. New data from health officials is now highlighting just how many people in the city are sick. According to the Marion County Health Department, last week, the number of emergency room visits increased by 30% compared to the week before. Health officials say during that same time frame, there was nearly a 32% increase of children ages 5 to 17 being treated in emergency departments. So we talked with a doctor to learn more ways that parents can help keep their kids safe.
Not just necessarily one symptom, it's like a combination of symptoms that would really point me in the direction we should probably be keeping our kids from school or going to work.
Doctors also recommend washing your hands frequently and trying not to touch your face after touching other surfaces. A Fort Wayne school's principal is resigning weeks after he and other school leaders were named in a lawsuit. The Fort Wayne South Bend Diocese sent a statement announcing Scott Krieger's departure effective Monday. It claims the decision was not related to the lawsuit filed against Bishop Luers and the diocese. The suit alleges negligence in handling widespread instances of child exploitation involving female students.